Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Carol Moulton coming to you once again with Tea Time with Carol. I hope that things are going well with you. It's been rainy and dark the past couple of days, but we still have joy. And I know quite a few of us are battling what's going on in the atmosphere, the fires that are coming from the Canada, and that still seems to be an ongoing problem in terms of the air quality in this area. I'm in the Washington D.C. area, and so for a lot of us, it's a struggle to get out. But you know what? We're going to count it all joy. We're going to count it all joy. So we're going to continue today. Oh, wait. I always do this. I run so far ahead of myself. I did not welcome you in. So please, charge it to my head and not my heart. But I would really like to welcome you and thank you for joining me today. I'm not going to be here long. Just going to talk to you for a few minutes about money and what you can do to get more of it, how you can see more of it, and how you can bring more of it into your life. We talked last time, I think, about triggers and how you can have emotional triggers about money, and your money story may be that you grew up with not enough money in the house, or with your parents saying rather negative things about money. Like I know my I grew up hearing things like, if people have money, they had to have done something wrong. And so there was always this sort of negative connotation about having a lot of money, and that can affect you as you grow into an adult. You keep those same messages about money in your head. So today we're going to talk about how those messages come about and how you reframe them so that, number one, you become conscious of them, and then number two, you get to change. You get to change the story. You don't have, just because that's what you heard growing up doesn't mean you have to live with it the rest of your life. And you do have the power to change what you don't want and to attract more of what you do. um so come in. I'm pouring peach tea today. So anybody up for that? I'm sure my friends in Atlanta are up for a little peach tea. I wish I had some peach cobbler to serve, but I'm fresh out of that. But anyway, um, it's all good. It's all good. But peach tea is like really, really delicious and very refreshing. So my question for you is, do you have too much month at the end of your money? And if you do, if there's a lot of money, a lot of month left, and your money is gone, then you really want to pay attention to this message today. Um, I'm going to talk about this from the standpoint of science. And look, you know, I grew up thinking science was not for girls. And I was not encouraged. There's most women in my generation. We were not encouraged to study science. That was something that was like science and math were reserved for boys. That wasn't anything you really had to focus on. I know that there are some exceptions, but I think for the most part, most of us were not encouraged to think about science. And as I have gotten older, I have discovered what an absolute delight science is. I'm like, wow, this is really great stuff. So we're going to talk about neuroscience today. And you know what? I hope this encourages and gets to you the way it has gotten to me, because I'm loving this stuff. But basically, I want to talk to you for a little bit about the mind money connection, and using neuroscience to explain that. So I'm not going to talk about the whole brain. I'm not going to give you a whole big science lesson, but we're going to talk about this one part, and how it influences you, and in terms of even what you're conscious of and what you're not conscious of. So we're going to talk about it from that perspective. So, everybody with me? Okay, cool, 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 cool. All right, so here's our lesson for today. There is a piece of your brain that's called the reticular activating system, or RAS for short. Let's just call it that, RAS. And it starts about right above your spinal cord, and it's about 2 inches long, and it's the width of a pencil. So it's not real big, but it's where all your senses come in, except for smell. And smell comes in an emotional part of your brain. But all of your other senses filter through the RAS system. And how this works, it's wired into neurons, and it makes those neurons snap. And let me give you an example. All right, I'm going to ask you to look around the room that you're in, or if you're driving, look around the room and look for something green. And I'll give you a minute, I'll give you 10 seconds to see how many green things you spot in the room. Just random. Just look around. How many green things can you find? Well, what okay, you found some? Great. All right. Well, what the RAS system does is to highlight those things that you're looking for. That's what it does. Like when you buy a new car, it doesn't have to be new. I mean, it could be a used car, but say you buy a car and then you start driving, and like for the next several weeks, all you see on the road are that car. Say you bought I don't know, a Honda, whatever. you know but as you're driving along, that's all you'll see, and you'll think, oh my God, everybody in the world has a Honda. Well, that's because your brain says that part of your brain, the RES system, is saying, oh, Hondas are important to them, so let me show you more. And so that's how that works. That's why you see, when it's something that is important to you, your brain starts showing you more and more and more. So all right, let's translate this to money. All right. If you're saying things like, I hope I get better with money, or I hope I win the lottery, or I hope I get a promotion, or I hope things change. And this is, I'm talking about money now, but this can be with anything. I hope, I hope, I hope. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work because you've given yourself a way out. It's like, I hope, maybe it will, maybe it won't. You've built in doubt. And it's the same thing if you say, I want more money, I want to see a change, I want this, I want that. You're building in you're building in too many ways that this won't work. So change my suggestion is that you change the way that you frame the things that you desire more of, and say, I intend to be wealthy by the time I'm, I don't know, 50, whatever you are right now. I intend that my children, whatever, be happy and healthy. I intend to be debt free by the year, whatever, by the end of this year. I intend. That's a very different thing that your brain hears. And your brain is listening. The RES system never turns off. It's operating while you're sleeping. It's 24/7. It's always there. So what you want to do is to kickstart that system and be more intentional in the things that you're saying in order for the RAS system to work with you. That's how that works. All right. So the way you can think about the RAS system is like, it's like a gatekeeper, or a nightclub bouncer. And the RA system, if you think about it, now when we finish, I'm not going to ask you to do this right now, but when we finish, I would ask you to sit for like 2 minutes and just take in all of the sounds that come to you in just 2 minutes. All the things that come to you, and your brain could not, and then multiply that by 24/7. Your brain cannot possibly handle all the things that come to it. So the REA system is the gatekeeper that keeps out the riffraff, keeps out the things that you've designated are not important, and brings to you the things that you have said or you have indicated are important. Because otherwise you'd be overwhelmed with how much information. I mean, think about how much, just sit for 2 minutes. Think about how much you smell, how much you see, how much you hear, everything that's going on. It's impossible to filter all of that out. So your RAS system does a fantastic job of doing that. But when you understand that system, then you can have it to work with you. All right. So we good? So what we're doing now is using that system to attract more money. Ah, I got your attention now. All right. So how are we going to do that? Well, there are a couple of different ways, and we're not going to talk about all of them today. Next time we're going to talk about dopamine and emotional intelligence and all those things. But for right now, we're just going to focus on using neuroscience. Part of it, I sort of gave you a hint, is saying I intend, and making those kinds of statements about money. The other thing that I would suggest you do is start actively visualizing. Now, that's not meditation, and meditation is a little bit different, but start visualizing what you want. Your brain can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not. It doesn't have that capacity. So when you visualize something, visualize it as if it's already happened. And you do this like probably sort of unconsciously. Have you ever like planned a vacation or planned a wedding or planned some big event? You can like drill down every single thing. Say you're going to, I don't know, Disney World. you know, on Monday at 10 o'clock, you're going to do this, and then you're going to go here, and then you're going to there. You have it kind of all mapped out before you get there, before you've even gotten on the plane, before you've gotten in the car. You have it all mapped out. You see this whole vacation. You see the whole honeymoon, the whole wedding. You see it in your brain from start to finish. You know exactly what's what. Or say you're planning a big meeting, and the big mucky mucks in your company, your agency are coming. You've planned everything out from top to bottom because you want everything to go well. Well, visualizing it, you see it before it happens. You can do this with weight loss, you can do it with money, and it's the same thing. Start visualizing things as if it's already happened. So start visualizing being debt free. And what will your checkbook look like? How many zeros are in your checkbook? Start visualizing what that will feel like and see it. See it as if it's already happened. This is a very powerful, don't be dismissive of this. It's a very, very powerful tool. If you can catch hold of this and really start training your brain for success, because what your brain, if your brain sees that as if it's already happened, then they'll bring you more to, oh, she wants more of that, okay, let me bring her more. It becomes a reality. Okay, this is not woo woo, this is science, and it really works, trust me. Trust me, you really want to start leveraging the RAS system and neuroscience to bring in more of what you want into your life. It doesn't have to be just money, it can be anything, a relationship, whatever other goal you've got. See it as if it's already happened. So we're not going to go any further with the science today. I mean, we're going to continue the series on using science to get wealth. We're going to talk about neuroplasticity. We're going to talk about, I mentioned before, a couple of other things that we're going to talk about. Dopamine, that okay. Um, I was about to say something about addicts, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about brain waves going forward. We're not doing that today, but what I want the takeaway that I want you to get is the importance of visualization. And this is a tool that athletes use. They see the whole game before it happens. They every second of the game they see the entire thing, so they're prepared for all of it. So my humble suggestion to you, beloved, is that you start to do the same thing. And if you combine that with your gratitude journal, which I know we've talked about in the past, and I'm sure y'all are doing it. Yeah, okay. If you're not, no shade. Just start. You combine gratitude and visualization, and you will be unstoppable. So that is what I think I'm going to leave you with for today. I told you it was not going to be here long, but to recap, just want you to understand the reticular activating system in your brain, little at the base of your spinal cord, and it's the gatekeeper, the bouncer, keeps filters stuff, because to keep you from having too much information, filters so much out, filters out everything except smell. That's the only thing it doesn't filter. Don't ask me why, I don't know. I think because smell is also related to emotional stuff. You can smell something that reminds you, like when you smell baby powder. It's like, oh, the baby's oh, makes you want to cuddle somebody. Anyway, that I'm just talking about how smells can be very emotional. That milky smell on babies, and everybody talks about how babies smell, and So anyway, it's an emotional thing. Anyway, anyway, okay. Reticular activating system. You want to remember that, or remember RAS. Remember that you're going to visualize. You understand the importance of it, so you're going to feed that system more of what you want to see in your life. You're going to be very intentional with the way you craft things, the way you say things to and about yourself. You're being very intentional about that. I intend will be your buzzword. I intend to be debt free. I intend, whatever it is, I intend to have a vacation home. I intend to take 6 trips a year. I intend, whatever it is, write it down as an intention, and stick to it, and start seeing it as if it's already happened. So those are my tips for today. Um, I hope you have an absolutely fascinating, wonderful weekend. And, feel free to get in touch if you want more information about this, if you want to know more about how this works. I think it's just absolutely fascinating. But anyway, that's me. But know that I love you. Know that I'm praying for you. Know that everything is going to be okay in spite of how it looks. Don't even sweat it. It's going to be okay. So, beloved, I will let you go finish your peach tea. Have an amazing weekend. Until next time, remember everything you want is on the other side of fear. Love you, love you, love you. Take care. Be good or try. And we'll talk again soon. Take care. Bye bye.